Hello, good morning. Welcome if you are joining. Today it's Tuesday the 5th of October. Welcome to Stampin' Chat. I'm going to be here for hopefully just over an hour creating a couple of cards with you using a predominantly Christmas stamp set and the Sweet as a Peach stamp set, which was a firm favourite with a lot of people. Just going to check that I'm live in the right place. If you're joining, please say hello. And I have to bear with me, I've got my new glasses on and they're slightly different. Can't quite see my MacBook as well as I could with my old glasses. Morning, Lucy-Ann, how are you? Just check I'm in the right place. Oh, it's so different, the view. My closer view, my short distance is, obviously it's been deteriorating. I've noticed when I've been cutting things out how tricky it's been. So I've got my new glasses, new prescription. I can see better closer, but normally at this distance, I can see my MacBook quite clearly and I've got a job to see it. Not good. Don't get old, guys, it's not fun. How are we, Lucy-Ann? What are you up to today? Morning, Michelle. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. Lovely to have you. So yeah, this morning I'm going to be using, again, you know I do like to use stamp sets over and over. I want you to see the value in them when you purchase something, just how many different ways you can use it. Morning, Jacqueline. It's dark and dreary. Oh, goodness me. We had a lot of rain in the night. I think it woke me up. I don't know what, I didn't look at the time, because we did get another phone call in the night from a driver. I think that was midnight, saying that he wasn't coming in today, which meant that Jason had to get up at 4:30 this morning to go and take the load that this driver couldn't deliver, because it was an important one. So yeah, I'm feeling tired this morning. So trying to read comments on my Mac. Lucianne, you're doing some cutting out. Ready to make Christmas cards, exciting. So I'm not doing anything Christmas today. Morning, Mary. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, I'm not doing anything Christmassy, but I've got a couple of Christmas cards to share with you from my upcoming 6-card class using the Christmas season stamps. So Christmas for me will be coming really soon. I'm trying to use Christmas stamp sets for non-Christmas projects, so that if you're not quite ready to embrace the festive crafting just yet, you can go ahead, get your Christmas stamps, get all your colours in as well, and create, you know, general cards with them before you get going. Morning, Ellie. You're studying. Can wait till after my live, bless you. Gonna do a bit of crafting with you. That's great. Lucianne, you're using the Sweet Stockings DSP. That is cute. I don't have that pattern paper, but it's really sweet, isn't it? Right, I think I'm going to turn you down. Looking very fuzzy on my Mac, but I think that's just my eyes. So yeah, and I think it doesn't help because I'm tired as well. The rain in the night, as I was saying, and then I was distracting myself by remembering the driver ringing at midnight, or the driver's wife. And then Jay deliberating what was he going to do because he didn't have a spare driver. Yeah, but the rain was really coming in from the direction of my side of the bed. It was coming down onto the Velux window so hard, the wind. But we've had a little drop of rain this morning, not a lot, just a bit. So, but it's breezy out there. And a bit grey and damp, but I think tomorrow's looking brighter, so we will be looking forward to little brighter weather tomorrow. Right, let's get you down onto my desk. A couple of things to show you before we get going. So excuse the palm of the hand while I turn you down, move everything about, get you in shot. So I'm moving my stand now. Have a bit of a zoom. Get some light on. Oh, my MacBook is frozen of all the times to do it. But I guess at least Facebook is back online for those of you that were experiencing or trying to get onto Facebook yesterday. Now this just makes it even trickier because my comments, had to refresh my page, and it means your comments aren't that easy to see. Right, I'm just going to tilt my camera that way a bit. You can see a little sneak peek of something that's coming. I'm going to zoom in a teeny bit more, and I think we're quite straight, so I'm going to tape you down. And let's get rolling. I can move in a little bit more if I need to. Okay, so a couple of things to talk about before we get going. We have got a gorgeous new collection of products. I guess it's like a suite, a part of a suite. Must you scratch against the cupboard door, Alfie? Bless him. Yeah, so it's called Eden's Garden. So this is a complete sneak peek. It's coming on the 2nd of November. As a demonstrator, I've been able to pre-order it early, and it looks gorgeous. I love it, absolutely love it. I cannot wait for it to arrive. So we have a bundle with stamps and dies coming. We've also got some speciality DSP, some cotton paper, some lovely gems. And then if you want the whole collection, you can order it all under one code as well, which is fabulous. So I'm super excited for that to arrive. There will be a class coming with this in November, so look out for that. I've just got to get all the details for it. It's been a busy week since I was on here last week. Had a lot going on. I had Sophie's birthday Friday, so I did take the day off, and then we had family over, had the children and the grandchildren over on Saturday, stayed over, which was lovely. I didn't really do much on Sunday. We went into town and had coffee, little wander around John Lewis, picked up my new glasses, of course, and that was like the weekend gone. So yeah, lovely sneak peek. Look at those dies that have created that wreath. Beautiful. And that's that one there. So super excited for that to arrive. So look out for more on that. Also, we still have the Expressions in Colour, the Paper Pumpkin Kit. This is available. I've shared you quite a few things with just the stamps from this kit. Not actually ventured into the box and created any cards yet. Morning, Ruth. I can just see that you're popping in on my phone. I can't actually read it on my Mac, which isn't great, but yeah, so lovely kit. Maybe I have to pop on and do some of the cards in this kit, because I know you've had a look inside, but I haven't actually made any of the cards. I've just used that lovely stamp set to create things with it. Right, let's put those to one side. So I'm bringing what we're using today. And I've got lots of things that I need to get on top of. I'm feeling rather snowed under at the moment with retreat coming up really quickly. I've got so much to do for that. The list is endless, so much to do, but thankfully I've had an order arrive with some things in, so it means I can carry on cutting. I've been waiting for some things. Still got some more things to come. Tomorrow is a special day for me because it's my 12th birthday with Stampin' Up. So I'm thinking there should be some kind of extra special offer or gift for those of you who shop with me. So look out for that as well. Vicky, good morning, Vicky. How are you? How are you doing? Sorry, I had to refresh my MacBook, so I've lost my view of comments. It doesn't scroll. I have to like manually scroll. Annoying. Anyway, we are using these two today. Christmas season I used last week with you, and as I've said, I'm trying to embrace much more use of our Christmas stamp sets for our general projects as well. So and I'll share some Christmas projects really quickly with you for my upcoming 6-card class. But I just think stamps with foliage in, you can do so much more with them. And the Sweet as a Peach was one of my favourites when the annual catalogue launched. And I know loads of you actually have this stamp set. So I thought I'd bring this one in because we've got some gorgeous flowers in here. But not only that, we've got some really great greetings that we're going to use on my cards today. And this is my colour combo. I am laughing at myself because Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent, they're just always there, aren't they? But that's a good thing, I think. You know, I'm getting a lot of use out of them, and you're getting to see a lot of things with them as well. So I'm sorry that I'm not stepping away from them. I do have other greens that I use, but the reason being, let's pull out those scrappy bits. Today we're using some papers from the, is it Tidings of Christmas? I always get tongue twisted with these, or Tidings and Trimmings. And so we're using some of these festive-y papers today for our projects. You've seen me use these an awful lot for non-Christmas things as well. And they are also included in my 6-card class this month, so you get a 6x6 sheet of each pattern. So that's kind of where my colour combo came. And if you've been following me my last couple of lives, you'll know that I have a bit of soft suede cardstock that I'm working my way through, so I thought I would bring that in as well. So quite not necessarily, kind of autumnal. By bringing in that soft suede, it does kind of make it slightly autumnal. Okay, Vicky, I'm glad to hear you're doing good. It's good to know. Okay, so I've mounted all my stamps ready. The other thing I'm going to be using well, it's just this one really, from the Greenery embossing folder duo. Going to be using this kind of Orla-Keely pattern. I just love this. It's leaves. I love leaves. It looks like leaves to me. It's not leaves, but it reminds me of leaves. And this one here is stunning as well. So a really good little combination there. Let's put those up on my desk. And then to go with the stamps, of course, we've got the seasonal label dies that go as a bundle with the Christmas season. And the peach dies that go with the Sweet as a Peach. Okay, so these are both available as a bundle. And remember, when you buy stamps and dies together, you save 10%, and we all love to save some pennies. Okay, let's pull in the first kit. Got everything moved out of my reach. Grab some scissors and some glue. So how are we all doing? Did we all have a lovely weekend? What did you get up to? You can let me know while I waffle on. As I said, I took the day off Friday to spend the day with Sophie for her birthday. It's a bit of a tradition. We usually spend the day together if we can. So I'm starting with a soft succulent card base. I've got a piece of fresh freesia and a piece of basic white for my top layers. And then I've cut some slithers. I love to use just slithers of pattern paper just to bring a little something in. Obviously the other sides are very Christmassy, but these sides are very non-Christmassy. So let's start by folding this base, and then we can put this to one side. So as usual, it measures 8 1/4 by 5 3/4. I'll give you the measurements of my top layers. So we've got quite a large gap around this one here. I'm wondering if I might zoom in a little. And this one should measure 3 3/4. It's a little bit short. Wasn't very good cutting, Carrie. By 5 well, I don't know what happened there, but it's not 3 3/4. It's like a 16th under. And it should be 5 3, and it's not. It's a 16th under. But let's just check this one fits on the top evenly. It does, so I'm going to leave it at that. But I would make this 3 3/4 by 5 3/8. Maybe it's the new glasses. I'm not seeing properly. Let's just scroll and look at comments. Okay. Now, shall I zoom in? I'm going to try and zoom in a teeny weeny bit. Just a little bit, so you're a bit closer. Whether it will make, that's better. Okay, so these are our top layers. So what I'm going to do first is do all of the stamping as usual. Let's bring in the inks. And then I'll get the die cutting and the embossing done. So let's move those up a little bit. And let's open up. I've got my wet wipe ready because I'm using Evening Evergreen and I always get inky fingers when I'm using that one. I'm going to open them all up ready. Oh, I pressed a button then. Finding it really distracting. Not being able to see my MacBook properly. Right, let's get some scraps in. And my spongy mat, which has got lots of chalk on it from the embossing buddy where I've been embossing, because both of the stamp sets we're using are photopolymer today. So first of all, I thought I would use, and I haven't got them out, which is a bit daft. I'm going to use just the flowers from here. I think I've got everything else out that I'm using. Such a great set, the Sweet as a Peach. I'm just going to look and see how much it is. I know I put a marker in my catalogue. It was really, really popular. It's just £17. The bundle is on page 61. And great value. I don't know if you can read that, but £34 for the stamps and the dies. Amazing value. I did so much with this bundle when it first came out. So let's find a block. You'll have to head back and have a look at some of my classes. I do have, I think I've only got one tutorial on my events website at the moment. I'm going to be putting up more tutorials for classes that I've done. And I think it's the Sweet as a Peach one that I've got up there. So you can buy the PDF tutorial to make some projects if you've got this stamp set and you're looking for a bit more inspiration for it. So what I'm going to do is take the Fresh Freesia and just ink up. I'm going to do 2 sets of these, and they're like a graded stamp. So you do get like a gradient of colour. And what I have done in the past, which I'm not doing with these, but what I have done in the past is used a dauber, and when I've inked it, I've added a deeper colour to the centre of the flowers. I did that a lot when I was using Pale Papaya with like the peachy cards. And it just adds a lovely like centre, bit of depth to the flower. But I'm going to be using some of the dies to add centres. So I'm just going to leave them plain for the time being. I'm just scrolling. Right. Next of all, I'm going to use this large leaf. So this is from the Christmas season set, and I'm going to ink this one up in Soft Succulent, which, if you remember me saying last time, I'd re-inked it and it was very wet, but it's kind of mellowing out a bit now, plus my Evening Evergreen is the same. And you have to remember that when you ink something, when you re-ink your ink pad, it is going to be very juicy and wet to start with, but the more you use it, then the colour will kind of fade a bit, you know, disperse into the sponge. The other one I'm going to use is this one. I'm going to stamp this one in Evergreen. So look how you get the depth. There, you can see that. Very clever how our stamps do that. Then I'm going to have to clean off. I didn't clean my chamois this morning as well, and I was using it quite a lot yesterday, so I'm hoping that it's still, I'm just cleaning off this stamp here. Something stuck on there. Always be wary of bits that get stuck to your stamps, because if you ink it up and then stamp down, it will miss a part. So for example, I just cleaned this out on my chamois. Now, if there was a tiny bit of cardstock or something stuck on my chamois, it would probably stick to this. And then when you ink it up, it will miss a part of the inking. And you'll end up with like a little spot that doesn't have any ink on. So I need to do this one as well in soft suede. Hello, little man. And I need one more. This one here. I love this image. Love it. And I'm going to do that one in soft suede as well. Another graded image there. That's not where I've not inked it properly. That's just the way that the stamp is. Now, shall I chop? Yeah. Let's chop these and tape them down individually. I feel like I've wasted a bit of cardstock here. Right, let's bring in the plates and get these cut. You'll be glad to know that I've done lots of cutting already for the next projects. Can't do that one yet. That one is a fussy cut. There is no die to cut that one. So from here, it's such a huge set, this. And I think my favourite thing about this set are the labels and how you've got these little like tag hole toppers. And these are like ribbon slides. I was talking about this last week. They are lovely. It's that one, isn't it, that I want? And then I just want from the peaches, this one here. And I love that it cuts all 3 flowers in one go from one die. I'm thinking about it. Let's do some of these little ones while they're there. Get a bit of washi tape. This is very old washi tape. I don't know where it came from. I have lots and lots of Stampin' Up washi tape. When we used to sell it, I used to always buy it, but I'm a bit reluctant to use it. I need to maybe get some of that like Scotch magic tape or something. So that would be a good question. What do you guys use to hold your dies down? What do you use? Just taping these down so they don't go anywhere. And then these cute little flowers, look how tiny they are. Let's chop off a bit of Sahara sand and just cut a few. And where you can see how ingrained my plate is, my bottom plate, they will stick into that. And I'm going to have to encourage them out, but they're worth it. My new plates have arrived, but I'm saving them for my retreat. Oh, the peaches have moved slightly. Never mind. Don't know how that happened, but it will be fine. So let's just do them one by one. Have a little scroll. Yeah, my flowers moved a slight bit, but that won't matter. I can just trim a bit off. We'll do that one again. Run it through. I always feel that it's painful for you to watch me do this, but not everybody knows how to do this, so I have to show it. I need another one of those in the soft suede. Because sometimes people drop in that haven't even heard of Stampin' Up, so it's always good to share the process. Let's put that die back for the moment. And a bit of washi. So they do come out cleanly. You can see they've come right out of the die. I'm going to put those back because I definitely don't want to lose those, but they just stick in to the plate. It's Just lift the edges up. With my trusty Take Your Pick tool. You see me use this all the time. How many have I got there? 6. That'll be enough for this one. And I'll just run these 2 back through. Let's turn that because it's slightly curved that way. There we go. Yeah, so Friday, Sophie and I headed out shopping for the day, which was lovely. Nice chance to catch up. I didn't really buy anything. Sophie bought a few things. We had a nice lunch out. To be honest, I don't really need anything, but it's nice to go and have a little shop and a little look around. Right, what have we got? Oh, I know what else I need to do. Bring that back in. I want to create, using my labels, I'm going to pull in these 2 dies here. Let's find a scrap that's big enough. Let's just chop the end off. Yeah, it was definitely nice just to get out for the day. I always feel guilty though that I should be working. A bit of shopping, nice lunch. Right, what I'm going to do is just layer these 2 up. Just check that they're... Might just add another bit of wash over there. Check that they're nicely lined up together. I think that looks okay, and we'll just run that through. Where's my top plate? It's hiding. Got some tape stuck on there, that won't hurt. And thankfully Friday, the weather, even though it started very grey and damp, it did perk up. It ended out being a lovely day. Nothing worse than shopping in the rain. It was quite windy. Just pull that off carefully. So just by layering these 2 dies together, you can see we end up with a little frame, and then we can use that piece for something else, and maybe using that on the next card. So while we've got the mat out, let's do a little bit of stamping for the greetings. And I absolutely adore the style of this font, and I think it's such a great useful set of sentiments in here. You know, we always need thank you cards, and happy birthday, you know, it's just something we use all the time, isn't it? But I love that we've got this let's celebrate you as well, because that can mean anything. It can be for any occasion. So a really, really handy set to have. I know a lot of you have already got it. I did include it as part of my Creative Escape as well. It was included. So I know a lot of you have got it that shop with me already. But if you haven't, please consider it. It's such a really handy set to have. So I'm going to stamp the happy birthday. I've got a scrap of cardstock. And we'll do this in the Evening Evergreen. Check them in shot. And try and get it straight. I always like to line up my piece of paper on some grid to start with. And then hold my breath for a second while I try and stamp down straight. And our inks dry really fast. If you've not tried them before, they are really fast drying. So you can more or less stamp and then pick something up. Okay. And then I've pulled out another little greeting. I just love these little tiny words that we have. You can mix and match, you can chop them up and create your own little greetings. So let's ink this one again in evergreen. Oh, I had a bit of a rock there, can you see? That's okay. How perfect is that? It's just such a fine line stamp. And what I will say is when you have a stamp that's kind of fine lined like this, so by that I mean this is a solid stamp, you can afford to apply a bit of pressure to it when you're stamping. But if you've got a very fine line stamp like this, you ink it up. Let's just use this scrap and you press hard. Can you see the difference? You need to be gentle with anything that has a fine line on it. I do believe that's stamping done. Let's just chop this one out as well. Yeah, so Friday I was out shopping. I'm telling you my life story now of what I got up to the weekend. Bit of waffle. But you're all used to my waffle, aren't you? Friday night we babysat for Vivi and Eva while Jack and Coles went out and had a nice meal. And they took little Teddy with them. He's a bit young and Coles is breastfeeding, so a bit young to leave behind. Well, not young to leave behind, but obviously she's breastfeeding, so they took him along with them. He was as good as gold. He's so chilled. He's so chilled. I was over there yesterday with them and he's just as good as gold. Okay, let's start putting this card together. We've got all of our stamping elements done. Yeah, so that was my Friday done. I'm going to pull this one back in. And then with this layer, I'm going to use, as I mentioned, this embossing folder. If you're hopping on, I can see there's a few people on. Do say hello. It's lovely to know who's here. I'm struggling to keep up with comments. I don't think there's a lot being said right at the moment, but my view has changed on my Mac, so it's hard to see what I'm actually doing and your comments at the same time. What I'm going to do with this is pop it through this way, lower to the bottom, and try and have it quite square. The best way of doing that with a pattern is lining up. I've lined up the bottom of all of these leaves, so it should be quite square. And then I'm just going to move some layers on my platform and run this through very quickly without moving it if possible. So we have different thicknesses of, let's put my layers back, otherwise I'll go to cut and then it won't cut. We have different thicknesses of embossing folders. This is kind of a standard one, it's quite thin. If I bring in like a 3D textured one, hopefully you can see the difference there. They are much, much thicker. So we need to use different plates on our machine to compensate. It does make it a bit wibbly wobbly, but it's fine. We're going to stick it down and it'll be totally fine. So let's pull in these scraps of DSP. And we're going to pop one down at the bottom here. Let's get the Tombow going. It's doing a volcano. Don't like it when it does that. And then I want just a small piece of this. So let's just chop it there. And I'm going to pop that one down first, I think. That would make sense. Oh, let's get rid of some of that. We won't waste it, we'll use it. I mean, it is warm in here, but usually Tombow only does that when it's warm. Let's just like tap a bit on the back And I'm just going to pop it down there. Hopefully that's straight. And over, oh, it's doing a bubble now, it's blowing a bubble. Over the top, I don't know why it's doing that. This Tombow, it has a mind of its own. And then we'll pop this little skinny strip. Let's line you up. And follow a line. And then we know we're going to be somewhere straight. Okay. And then if we turn it over, we can cut off from the reverse. I do love the other side of this with the red berries on. I'm going to keep that bit because I'm sure I'll find a use for it. I do also love this pattern from the reverse as well. So you don't have to use our embossing folders on the side that you think it should be used. You know, that's really pretty. Right, now we've got those layers on, we can mount this onto the fresh freesia. Where's that bit of glue? Let's just get rid of that and use it up. Where was I chatting? Yeah, so Friday night we babysat. Saturday I did a bit of food shopping, went out to get a cake for Sophie and got us some balloons as well. It's not a birthday without balloons, is it? And what did we do then? Oh yeah, family came round in the afternoon. We had a lovely takeaway from a local, it's almost like street food. It's delicious burgers. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen on my stories. Absolutely delicious. It was called the Barbecue Society, and they do like specialty hot dogs and burgers, and oh, it was so good. And like these cheesy chips. Definitely want to go back there again soon. The only trouble is living here where we live is any takeaway is not close by. So, and not many places deliver. I'm pretty sure we could probably get some things through Deliveroo, but quite often find that it's cold before it gets here. So we don't have takeaways that often. Right, I'm going to pop this layer down next. Now, I was deliberating whether to raise this just so that it stands out a little bit. On my original, it's flat. Let's raise this one and see if it makes a difference. My mini dimensionals fit perfectly on here. So yeah, we had a delicious takeaway. Coles and Sophie brought ingredients, and we had porn star martinis, which were absolutely wonderful. I was nursing a bit of a headache for most of the day on Sunday, but I think that's just where I didn't drink loads and loads. I maybe had about 2 or 3. They were quite strong. They were very strong. But I think it's just where I'm really not used to drinking. I'm a bit of a lightweight when it comes to drink, which isn't a bad thing. Okay, I'm just going to pop this one down over here towards the right side. Oh, it's having a shake. Like that. So just created like a little aperture, little frame. Sorry, I'm just scrolling. And now we can start adding in some of our elements. Let's cut this out first. So it's now that I realise these new glasses are definitely better, because I was struggling to cut out with my old ones. Not so much from this distance because I'm standing, but when I was sitting, I was really struggling. But I'm not too pleased that, well, I'm pleased that I can see better close up, but I'm not too pleased that I can't see my MacBook so well from this distance. Don't know what the answer is to that, really. Hope I'm in shot. Yeah, so Saturday was lovely. It's just lovely having family, isn't it? And they all stayed over, so we had a big sleepover. Boys went in the hot tub, had a nice catch up. We didn't go to bed too late. We're not late to bed people. And then we had lovely bacon sandwiches for breakfast, and Jason made oh, it's gone out of my head. Not waffles, pancakes, but not pancakes. Where's my bone folder? Let's give some of these leaves a turn. Crepe. He made some crepes. Got a little crepe maker and he made some crepes. This one, I don't want all of these. I'm just going to chop that one. So yeah, there was lots of Nutella going on at breakfast time. And then the flowers, oops, don't want you just yet. And then they all departed late morning. And then it was just Jason and I, and it's always so quiet. They haven't all been here for a long time. And when they go, it just seems so quiet. It's like the calm after the storm. All the toys go away until the next time. But yeah, it's lovely to get together, isn't it? I know some of you, Vicky, are you still in lockdown? You're working your way out? Ruth, you like the way I've created the frame? Yeah, I mean, any of the layering dies that work like this, you can do that with. Some don't fit inside of each other, but... Okay, so first of all, I'm going to pop this little one down. Just inside the frame here. Just hold that down for a minute. I'm wondering if I might come up a bit. I think what I will do first is put my greeting in and then I can work around my greeting. That would be a good plan because I don't want to end up with not any room. Let's think about this because I don't want it to be any higher. I'm going to take that one off. If I'm careful, I'll be able to move it. So I want my greeting to go down here. So if I just pop a dimensional in there, and one hanging over the edge. Should not show underneath. Right, let's just lay that one on. It does show. We'll move it. There. So I've just popped that greeting on. And then I can build up my flowers and everything around it. So let's start with, might need that one as well. Do you remember it just moved slightly? So I'm just going to chop off some of the excess white. Might need that one as well. So when I'm like building up flowers like this, I like to start with larger flowers at the bottom. So we'll put you in there. Maybe a bit lower. I'm kind of guesstimating. There's quite a gap around there, but I'm going to put that one up at the top. So because it's white on white, you're not going to see. Take your pick is really handy for pressing down things like this when you've popped glue on, because you know what happens, you press down and then you get glue on your fingers. Pop you there. I'm thinking already I like this frame raised up. A little one I think here. Might need to glue from underneath as well, because I only glued this stem part. I didn't glue the whole of this like foliage stem. Maybe we'll wedge a little one in there somewhere. Like that. Okay. Let's pull the end off. Can you see I've got quite a large bobble of putty on there, but it's still tacky, so I'm going to stick with it. It probably could do with refreshing. But I'm just going to put a teeny tiny dot of Tombow in the centre of the flowers, and then we'll pop in these little flowers here that I die cut earlier. Some of them have still got the centres in, so I'm just going to push those out. Make sure they're the right way up. And pop them on. Just going to have a quick drink and... Oh, morning, Belle. How was your dog walk? Oh, I have to say that word carefully. W-A-L-K. They know what it means. Hope you had a nice one. I mean, the sun has come out here now. I'm just looking out over towards the Malverns. It's a bit cloudy. The trees are moving, which means it's quite windy out there, but there's blue sky. It's looking a bit brighter. A bit of sunshine makes all the difference, doesn't it? Right, let's pop this one in behind here. So as I said, I wanted to bring in some soft suede to my projects today. So let's tuck you under. Just have you popping out over there. And then this one I'm going to chop as well. So we'll have those two, and maybe these two. So always remember, you don't have to use something in its entirety. Chop bits off if you don't want them. I think we'll have some coming out up here, a bit of Tombow on the back. And I always work like this. I put in my main focal point, which is my flowers, and then I just add in pieces to like fill any gaps that I feel need filling. Oop, that's what I said about using your fingers to press things down. I feel like you want to go in a bit more. And then this little one that I chopped, the Tombow on there, just to, oh, what's happened to my happy birthday? Moved it. Just to add in. Wonder if that will go under. Yeah, that's better. Moving it all about. And then finally we'll just add in, I think I'm just going to pop it right there. I might just need a dimensional on the left hand side just to anchor it. He's just come up the stairs and sat right next to me, just staring at me. He hasn't eaten his breakfast yet today. Has moments with his breakfast. Sometimes he'll eat it Straight away, he's even left his 2 biscuits over here. He ate the gravy bone. Those are his favourites. And then he left the 2 shapes that I put down for him. So there we go. Just creating something non-festive with the foliage. If you're just hopping on, using the Christmas season stamps. I will be inking these up very, very soon. I have been inking with the berries as well for some Christmas projects. But, you know, I'm holding back. So there we go. This is quite 3D at the moment. It will obviously flatten out when it goes into an envelope. So there we go. I think let me bring in my original. It's obviously very similar. Can you see the difference between the flat frame and the raised? And I think I prefer this one on the right where it's raised up. So, MacBook zoning out. Thank you, Belle. Yeah, I'm not stepping away from the soft succulent and the evening evergreen, but I'm throwing in some fresh freesia, but also bringing in some of the soft suede as well. Let's move on to the next one. This one shouldn't be so long-winded because, excuse the arm if you can see it, I've already done a few bits and pieces ready. So this time I'm being brave again and going with a solid background in soft suede. Those of you that know me, my style is very kind of crisp and white. I love a white background as my base and not too much colour. When I look around my studio at all my samples, the majority are created with a white base. And that's just what I like. I like the crisp freshness of it. So I'm being brave today and pulling in a deep base. And I've done a bit of that lately. So all is good. So I've got a basic white layer, which should be, so my base is 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. This should be 3 3/4 by 5 3/8, which it is. And then I've cut another layer of basic white, and this measures 2 3/4 by 5 3/8. And I'm going to run this one through that greenery embossing folder. Pull out my layers. There's a helicopter going over. And we're just going to pop, I'm going to run the whole thing. Can't actually see to line it. I want it to be straight, and that's important. When you've got something like this with a pattern, it is ideal if you get it in there straight, otherwise it will look a bit skew-if, she says. And now I'm going to move it again. Slightly better light behind me. Right, let's run that through. Hoping I didn't move it. Put all the plates back in. And then we just end up with the whole piece like that. Obviously these are designed to fit in the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, that's why they're smaller, but I love that they come as a pair. And I think, what were they, £7.50 for 2, so really, really great. And then this one's going to sit directly on top of this basic white layer. But first, let's bring in some DSP. Got some strips here. These were actually out of my scraps, had some strips like this. And I'm going to start by just adding some Tombow. I'm just going to wipe the end of that, it's just dried over a bit. Add a bit of Tombow just along here. And I just want to create a little border. So, he's wandered off again. I know you can hear him moving around over here because of the floor we put down is quite noisy. Is that straight? Not quite. But it's straight enough, I think. Let's just snip that off. When I'm snipping an end off like this, my MacBook's gone to sleep. Hope you're all still there as well. Belle, it was windy but sunny. Yeah, I love that. I love it when it's bright and you're out on the walk. Yeah, I know. Sniffing the bushes, like Alfie, he just goes in everything. He has to go in and investigate. I'm sure it's not you sniffing in the bushes. Hello, Kim. How are you? Thank you. Thank you for saying you're liking the card. So I was just about to say, when you could either pop this in your paper trimmer to cut it off here, which you know is going to give you a crisp edge. But when I've got a piece overhanging on this side, I could actually cut it from there, but I'm at a danger of not being completely straight. So what I tend to do is open up my scissors and put my blade on and butt it. Can you see that? I'm butting it up to the edge of that white line, white cardstock to the edge, and then hopefully that appears straight. I'm going to stick this, oh, this is slightly shrank now that I've put it through the embossing folder, but that's not a problem. We can add that on after. I've just realised I've missed a bit. I was meant to put that under there, and I'm not going to do it now. We'll just leave it. So before I stick this down, I'm going to add in this little stripy bit just up here, just to add a little bit of interest. And then we'll pop that down onto this layer, and if we need to trim a bit off of either end, we can do that. Love this pattern. And I'm not really bothered where it goes on here, if it's a bit higher or a bit lower. Like this gap, I'm not bothered about. Just going to get it on there. So can you see how that did shrink slightly? Just pop that in my trimmer. It's the easiest way to do that. Take that slither off like that, and we'll forget, we can put this bit on after probably. And as we're at this point, let's just put this straight down onto our base. So we have our annual dog holiday this weekend with Jason's sisters. We do different things, but mostly we stay at a log cabin in the forest. Last year, we did a canal boat trip with the dogs, which it was okay, but it was hard work with the dogs, not gonna lie. I would do it again, but without the dogs, because it was good fun and it was an experience, but not so good with dogs. Do you remember this inner piece that was left from my frame that I just made? We're going to use that, and I think I'm going to keep it flat like my original. That's my plan. Yep, so I've got my new wellies. I'm excited to wear them. That's sad, isn't it? I'm slightly nervous to wear them as well, because obviously wellies were made for trawling around through long grass and mud. And I want them to stay looking nice, because that's just me. But they're going to get wrecked. They're going to. That's what they're for. So yeah, looking forward to it. Right, so I'll pop my label on. I'm not going to stamp because I do believe I've got pieces in my pot that I can use. I'm using this leftover piece from the last card. And I need another one in soft succulent. I do need to do one bit of stamping actually. And that's this one here that I need to just fussy cut out again. I've got a little scrap going on that will fit on. We'll just get it out of there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, being away for a couple of days. Got the house sitter coming in, so all will be fine. Don't have to worry about watering the vegetables anymore, because that's always the thing if you're going anywhere. So I I think maybe next year we might think about, because we've got a lot of, what is it called? The brain is gone now. There is like a watering system already here that waters my borders, and also it goes right to the centre of the garden and it waters where the Clargesta is. So in the middle of the garden we've got an eco cesspit. You wouldn't know it was there because it's hidden by a huge tree and bushes. But the watering system goes right into there as well, which is really clever. But what I could do with is some kind of system on my vegetable patch, so that if we are away for a night or something, it gets watered. Or even in my greenhouse, I guess. Does anyone have a greenhouse and they've got a watering system in there? Because I do like to use my water butts as much as possible. I have hardly used the tap this summer. I've hardly used it. I've got quite a few water butts here, so I've been saving as much water as possible. Right, let us think. I think what I'm going to do, because it will look the same as what I was originally going to do, is going to chop this in half, if I can get it straight. It's always hard. I've got a big guillotine that Stampin' Up used to sell. Just cut a skinny strip, and I think if we stick that on there, it's going to have the same effect as if I'd wedged it under. So, bit of glue. I think it's slightly crooked, but I'm going to go with it. Get that tombow off. And just leave it like that. It's a little bit, I didn't put enough on the end. Just put a little bit under there. Come on. Out you come. Just to stick that end down. That's it. Yeah, so it's, I just feel it's always a problem when you go away, if you've got plants and things, unless you've got someone local who you can have come in and do your watering for you. I don't want to have to rely on family to do that. It's a bit of a pain, isn't it? Right, I'm going to use this greeting again. I'm being lazy. I'm not going to pull my mat in. Hopefully it will work. But I do recommend, whenever you're using photopolymer, to use the mat. How pretty is that? Such a lovely font. Snip it off. Let's pick up speed. Less talk. More stamping. Move my screen back down. So I'm going to start again with my greeting and work around it. Build the image up around it. So let's just pop a couple of minis on here. The only other thing, of course, is I haven't worn my wellies in, which could be dangerous. I could be ending up with blisters. Right, again, this one's going to go down in first. Over this side somewhere. Don't think it really matters. Just plonk it in. And look, I've got a little pot of goodness. Alfie's just settled himself down on his bed for a minute. Let's pull out some flowers, and in the very bottom, can you see I've die cut lots of centres ready. And we'll just add in these flowers. Yes, it's nice. It's going to be nice to get away, and we're not too far from the forest, which is good. It's just lovely being out in the fresh air, and I do think the weather is going to pick up a little bit towards the weekend. Right, let's pop these flowers down on. So we'll start with the largest down here. put this in much higher. And I think it might be too late. I'm not going to have any room. I'm just going to chop off that end and just pop it back in lower. That's better. I think I was going to run over the top of my card otherwise. Just push that down. You know me, I'm always pulling things up. That's the great thing with Tombow. Before it's stuck, you can pull it up and move things about. Even when it's slightly stuck, like that was, I'd still pull things off. If I'm not sure, if I'm not happy with something, let's just hold that down. Check for comments. Morning, Kay, how are you? Sorry, just scrolling. My view is different today to what we've normally got, so it's slightly trickier to see the comments. Just hold those down for a minute. New Wellers are exciting, I know. Sad but exciting. Trouble is I'm quite heavy on the foot and I wear through the heel pretty quickly. Right, add a bit of curl to these leaves. And I want this one to come in somewhere over this side. I'm pulling up my greeting. I'm going to bring it over a bit. That's better. Because I want that stem to tuck under. Let's just put some glue on it and put it down. It will find its way. You can tuck it a bit. And then while we're here with the glue, we'll put in the centres, those teeny tiny flowers. And I think you get, let me just check. Yeah, you get three of those dies to cut those tiny flowers. These are really cute. They're quite nice to dot around. Or if you have a little happy accident and you need to cover up a fingerprint of ink, those flowers are perfect for that job. So, yeah. Pop those centres in. And then I feel the need, because we've got the base, I want to bring in a bit of soft suede foliage, kind of autumnal, because that is happening now, isn't it? I was telling you last week, we've had a lot of leaves come down already, but that was mainly due to it being so warm and us not having any rain. Let's just chop a bit off the end of there, because it's a mammoth task here when the leaves start coming. Right, we'll put one down here and one up here, like that. And then, have I got another? I'm gonna steal that one. Give that a curl. And pop it down here. Just to pull in the soft suede. Got a larger gap here than I had on my original, but that's fine. And then just to finish off, I'm going to bring in the Let's Celebrate You. Got a skinny strip here left that might just work. Let's bring the mat for this one. In the evergreen. Oops, my Mac's gone to sleep again. That was a bit crooked. Let's have another go. I think this is slightly wider, but it'll be fine. Right, don't breathe. trim that off. Feels like I am been on here forever. It's 11:10. And then we're just going to pop that one down at the bottom. Bit of Tombow in the middle. And then pop it down there. Hold that for a minute because of the bumpy background behind it from the embossing folder. It's not going to stick too well. I've got a spare leaf. Do I need to add this one in? Am I just being extreme? Just feel like there's a big gap here. I'm gonna leave it. I'm leaving it. So there we go. Another card, quite brave for me using deep colours. So I love the fact that any foliage is going to work with any florally stamp set. And of course, this is predominantly not florally. When you look at it, you just see peaches. You have to look beyond the peaches for the flowers and the beautiful greetings that are in this set. Okay, let's move on to the final one, which I think is my favourite. This time I'm pulling in some Sahara sand to team in with the soft suede, which I quite like those together. So let's just, that looks very wide. Just measure that. No, it's right. Just looked very wide for a minute. Give it a crease. Thank you, Ellie. Nearly called you Kelly then, because I was looking at Kay above. Thank you, Kay, as well. I'm glad you're doing all right. Okay. Pretty much the same going on. Basic white layer. And I'm going to grab that embossing folder again. And this time we're going to use it this way. Up towards the top. And I'm going to line in. What I'm looking at are these, I'm following like a row of the edge of a leaf, and then I know that it's pretty straight. Swap the layers. I do love dry embossing. And you will note, I am not using my blending brushes at all today. Because I could have added it, but I just felt there was quite a lot going on with these cards. So I thought, no splatting, no blending brushes today. Let's just leave it as it is. Right, another favourite piece from this pattern paper. It's beautiful on both sides. So that's Sahara sand. That's where my colours have come in. And I've just cut a strip of this lovely, like soft succulent, like leafy image. And I'm going to pop it down here. Let's trim it almost to size. And we could just add a bit of Tombow on here. Hoping that our embossing was straight, because we're going to follow directly underneath it. Oop. It moved. It's alive. Everything is moving. I think it's straight. I'm trying to line it up with lines. I'm so OCD about things being straight. Let's turn it over, snip off the excess. Pop those in the bin. I feel a headache coming and I think, let's have a drink. I think that's from a broken night's sleep. Not that I sleep that well normally, but I think being woken up, oh, didn't cut that very well, did I? Being woken up at midnight with a phone call And then when Jason got up at 4:30 or 4 o'clock, whenever it was, I was awake for a bit and then couldn't go back to sleep. So that's probably why I've got a bit of a headache. Right, we'll pop this layer down because we've put our DSP on. I'm going to put it straight down onto soft succulent. I've got a slightly larger border going on because I wanted to be able to see enough of the suede colour underneath. Give that a firm press. Thank you, Kim. You like these colours? Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure. We're just bringing these two. I wasn't 100% sure if the soft suede worked, but it's kind of growing on me. It's challenging coming up with all these designs, especially when there's little time as well. I feel like I'm spreading everything very thinly at the moment. I'm going to pop this straight down as well because I do believe, apart from one thing, I've done most of my stamping. I do like these layers together, these colours. So we've got Sahara Sand as the base and then soft suede is that dark part popping through. I've already got a little mark on there. I think that's just what came off of my plate. Already cut myself a label and I'm going to raise this one up just so that it pops a little. Put one in the middle. We don't want it sagging. And then we'll stick this one down. Lower, more lower than higher, I think, like that. We've got a little mark there, but that will be covered over. I think the only thing I need to stamp is this one, so I'm going to give it a little clean because I used it in soft suede. So I'm just cleaning it off in my chamois. It's a bit wet in there still. Let's just give that a little press. Bit of cardstock. And I'm going to do one of these in evergreen. I wanted to bring like a deep bit of foliage. Excuse the arm. I just love, I know I say this all the time, but look how distinctive that is. Look at the shading on it. Such a beautiful set, not just for Christmas, but just for the foliage and the labels as well in the dies. So I need that one. I think I need another greeting. Let's do another happy birthday quickly. So this one here. I think that was wonky. I think it's okay. It'll be good. And I'm just going to chop that one for now. Pop it there. What else have we got? Got one of these done, so we'll have that. And then, I think with the flowers, let's cut this one out. A bit stuck on me. I'm going to cut that one out. What else do I need to cut? Oh, I've pulled this in because I want a label from the set as well. Look how bad I am at just using the centre of my cutting plate. We've got all these edge pieces to cut with, and I use the centre all the time. So it's this lovely leafy one, and then I thought I would cut one of these little labels. Can you see how that's just curved a little bit? That's because my plate is slightly curved. I'm just gently encouraging it to be flat, because then it will sit nicer on my plate. When I put the top plate on, you've got less chance of it moving if your die is flat. I don't recommend that you go around bending your dies. It's just a very gentle encouragement the other way, just to help it lay a little flatter on your plate. Pop that one on, run it through. So I cannot believe that tomorrow I will have been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for a whole 12 years. Where has that time gone? I'm honestly thankful that I found Stampin' Up! You'll hear me say this all the time. I have made so many beautiful friends through this. I have brought people together. I've watched other friendships blossom. It has been an amazing journey so far. And I'm sure there are many years left to experience new things with. I would love to earn another incentive trip. It's been 3 years. Alaska was my last trip. So in my 12 years, I earned 7 trips. But when we moved here, I did step back a little. Everything took over. And I did step back a little, but that's the beauty. We can if we need to. Okay, so what else do I need? Let's have a look in my little pot. I'll use this one. I did pull this off of a project yesterday. It's already got a dimensional under it. Got that bit that's left from last time. And then I think some flowers, and then we'll probably be there. Let's have 3 different sizes. Yeah, super thankful that I found Stampin' Up! And it's just brought me so many opportunities. It's taken me out of my comfort zone. I've done things I never thought I would be able to do. You know, presenting at events, in the days when we had convention. Lots of things. I never thought I'd be able to stand up in front of people and share what I love, especially demonstrators. It's even harder demonstrating in front of demonstrators, but yeah, amazing opportunities. And it's made me do this as well. I would never have wanted to do Facebook Lives. In fact, I did put it off for a very long time until COVID kind of forced me to do it. Right, is that still... I'm going to remove that because it's not quite tacky. If you've got a dimensional, I've shown you this before, but if you pull a dimensional off and you've still got a sticky bit left, if you rub your finger over or your thumb and press, you can actually remove all of that adhesive. So yeah, I've got some lovely team members. We've got some anniversaries this month actually with team members. Some who are celebrating 8th and 9th birthdays, which is amazing. Pop this one in. So yeah, lots of celebrations going on. But keep an eye out, if you're a customer, keep an eye out for maybe a little offer or something coming up to celebrate my 12th birthday. Let's pop this one over here. A bit lower. Don't want it too high. I'm not worried about that flapping around. I'm going to stick that back down in a moment. I need to allow a bit of room though to put my greeting in. So I think before I stick anything else on, I thought I would chop this into 2. Oh, caught hold of my lid. And we'll split this greeting into 2. I can't see if that's straight. I think it is. And then we'll pop some dimensionals on this one. and layer it up. So I've also got coming, I have advertised it on my group, on my events website. I have got another Christmas stamp stack coming at the end of the month. Let's just pop some glue under there now because it's bobbing around a bit. Another stamp stack coming, and at that event it will be at my studio, but also there will be the opportunity to order and book for kits in the post. And you'll get pictures so that you can complete your cards at home. We make 25 cards? No, 12 cards. 25 cards would be quite adventurous for a morning. We make 12 cards and it's £25. That's where the 25 came from. Let's put in some flowers and then we can add in some more foliage. So yeah, I'm excited about that. So look out for some sneak peeks of what we'll be doing. I can't even remember if I put it on my events website yet, that one. My 6 cards in the post is over on my events website. If you go to kerrytims.co.uk, I'm going to put this one in first. Click up on the top tab, you've got classes and events, and then you can view what is going on. There isn't going to be a great deal for October because I have my retreat, so I am totally focusing on that at present. It's hard to move forward from that until I've got a lot of things done. But yeah, I'll be having the 6 card class in the studio. That's on, I think, the 21st. So we've got a couple of spaces left for that. Literally just 2. Got my team event as well at the studio, which I always look forward to. It's lovely for us to gather and craft. That's stuck to me. And chat and catch up with all things Stampin' Up. I'm going to pop this little label down at the bottom. The centres in to finish the flowers. Of course, these little peachy flowers, call them peachy flowers because they're from the Sweet as a Peach set. You could add in some gems if you've got them, or rhinestones, something like that. But I think it's nice just to use the little die cuts. And then finally, let's celebrate you. Be straight. And then I think we're done. That one is definitely my favourite. Let me close up these inks. I do like soft suede. I think it's a great masculine colour. I love it with Christmassy projects as well. Just doing all of the inks up so that nothing gets dropped. Let's bring back in the cards. I think this one is definitely my favourite. So we've got the soft suede one, the evergreen one, and then my favourite, I think this one, the Sahara Sand. I mean, all I can see on my screen is a blur. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Belle. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Kay. Kay, you like them all. I love that you can use Christmassy papers in this way. I'm quite liking now the soft suede accents on the foliage is kind of growing on me. And hopefully you can see that by teaming up Christmas with general, that kind of anything is possible, really. Anything goes. Anything goes. Hello, Rebecca. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for your nice comment. Right, that's the one that I did previously. I'm going to pull these just to one side before I go. I really should embrace bringing you back to my face before I leave and say goodbye. Need to get on top of that because I think it's nice. So, reminder for the paper pumpkin, which is now available to purchase. Got that beautiful set in. This is what I did last week with them. I know some of you were here with me last week. So again, quite brave colours for me, quite dark, but we used that lovely set from the paper pumpkin box and we teamed it again with the Christmas season stamps that I'm using today. And then a little peek, move you out of the way, at my 6 card class. So you will get a piece of each of the DSP included. So we've got 3 Christmas, and then we've got 3 non-Christmas. This one's got a little special fold on it. So that's my 6 card class. It's £12. If you do not want either, how can I word this? If you would prefer to have just Christmas cards, you can have just Christmas cards and you will get kits for 2 of each one. Because I know some of you are ready to move on to Christmas now. But again, you know, I've given you a little sneak peek of those because I'm using the same stamps for that one as I've used today. So, final reminder, keep an eye out. As soon as my products arrive, I'm going to be sharing stuff with this. I'll be holding a class as well. Hopefully, I was going to say hopefully, I'm probably then, but it didn't quite come out. Hopefully, I'll do a face-to-face one here at the studio in November. But super excited about that. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Ellie. Kim, they're all pretty. Thank you. You love how I put my cards together. You like the last one best as well. Yeah, I think for me, it's just because it's slightly more neutral. So yeah, keep an eye out for Eden's Garden. More coming. Definitely my favourite. So I'm going to love you and leave you. What time is it? 11:33. A little bit over time, but not too bad. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'll be back very soon. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to come on tomorrow. I may well do, because obviously it's my Stampin' Up birthday, so maybe I might pop on. We'll see. But if I don't, then I'll be back very soon. Rebecca, the heart button isn't working. You've sent me loads of hearts, my lovely. I can't count because I can't see them very clearly with these new glasses. But lots of hearts. Thank you so much. Thank you all for stopping by. Please take care whilst you are out and about on your travels. I wouldn't worry with an umbrella. I'd just take a hood. It's too windy for an umbrella today. But thank you all for stopping by. Please take care, and I will catch up with you all very soon. So bye for now.